Mighty Radio.
Hello there and welcome to this brand new edition of 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me is my co-host Albert. So we're down a man today. Guillermo's here doing fatherly duties with the family. Man, he's a family man.
Yeah, I think you can tell from this podcast that he cares about his family more than he cares about us.
How dare he? But hope he enjoys his nice day with the family. So today's show, we got a lot to talk about. I'll talk about Bellator 149, the freak show circus that was, the allegations against BJ Penn, Ronda Rousey opening up on the Ellen show. Talk about some heavyweight matchup that's might hopefully maybe finally get the one behind Stipe Miocic, maybe a new number 2 contender. And then we'll look ahead to the return of Anderson Silva. So, Albert, let's go get started. You have a timer for me?
Yeah, I sure do.
Let's go.
And round number 1.
Round number 1, Bellator 149 took place this past Friday. To the surprise, I guess, a lot of people that it turned out to be so horrible. We did a poll on our Instagram account, Get False on Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. Like, is it what you expected? Was it the freak show you signed up for?
No, it was.
Did you enjoy it? So was it the freak show you signed up for?
No. It's funny because I knew what I was signing up for when I decided to clear my schedule
when you clicked to Spike TV.
And watch this event. I knew what I was getting into, but then when it unfolds the way that you know that you thought it was going to go, it even still kind of stuns you because when I heard Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000, I'm like, well, Kimbo Slice isn't known for his cardio. Yeah. And you got this guy. I mean, if you saw this guy in the open workout, stuff like that, you'd be like, I don't know how he's going to last even the first round. Yeah. And sure enough,
it went 3 rounds.
But if you can consider that 3 rounds, but it unfolded the way I think. Yeah. It was logistically supposed to unfold, but I think people were still hoping that we were going to see a good brawl. So at least a good brawl.
So was this event more of an embarrassment to the company of Bellator or the sport of MMA?
It's funny because I think it was more embarrassment to Bellator, but because when it comes to these type of events, you draw an audience that usually doesn't watch MMA. Yeah, it actually looks bad on MMA, and it also takes it because. The whole concept between boxing and MMA, I always saw, even though people like to say there's not really a big fight here, the difference is boxing is respected more because it's a science. Yeah. And MMA is more.
The origins of MMA history was just bare knuckle brawling.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And this kind of showed that that's what it MMA is essentially just a brawler's.
I think before people kind of like are gonna harp on Bellator and say that they're setting back the sport of MMA 10 years or whatever, but like MMA's history is filled with weird fights like this. I mean, the whole concept of the UFC was.
Look at this.
There's a guy with one boxing glove and then a sumo wrestler fighting a taekwondo guy. I mean, and the UFC is guilty for probably the type of freak shows. It's not to the audacity of Bellator, but what was James Toney versus Randy Couture? That's true. What was the Brock Lesnar experiment? It worked, but what was the Brock Lesnar experiment? What's the CM Punk thing going on right now?
Exactly.
Even the World Series of Fight with the Phoenix Jones, the Street Fighter, the superhero. So like, as much as we hate, as MMA fans want to be purists and like, see this is a real sport. This sport is filled with stuff like this. It's kind of weird that you don't see it as much in the boxing, though.
I think the key thing here is entertainment. Yeah. And I think this is where we leave boxing and enter the wrestling realm, where I think MMA is more of even though it's a physical, there is science behind everything, it's an entertainment sport. Yeah. And I think Bellator really embellishes that with the entrances, with the fights they put on.
Well, probably too
the atmosphere. It's an entertainment sport, and they're really embracing that. Yeah. So I give power to Bellator for embracing the entertainment side of it, which UFC kind of tries to dabble on it, but doesn't really want to get full committed to
that entertainment side. It took like 10 years to get the spotlight on for the main event, right? So if you're a free agent MMA fighter, do you want to come to Bellator after this? Like, what's Benson Henderson think? Like, oh man, am I going to be in a card like this in the future?
Well, the thing was, you had
Phil Davis, any guys who want to come from UFC.
You had matchups that were set up this way. I think Benson Henderson has a different path as far as they're putting actual contenders against him. We've seen good fighters in the welterweight. In the past couple of years. Same thing with the lightweights. I mean, that's probably one of their stackest division. So I think as far as their path at that, there's some credibility.
Yeah. Who I feel bad for, I think the real MVP of the night is Bellator's social media manager. Because they had to make that they had to put sprinkles on the turd. And if you follow Instagram and Twitter, they had to put like all these like these captions and what a night, legend returns, Royce Gracie, and like they're that's it, but Kimbo strikes again, and
he did strike again though.
Dude, that person was a real MVP. So I think
as long as they keep a good blend as like. Go ahead and keep these entertainment matchups. Yeah, I necessarily don't see nothing wrong with it. But as long as they still throw in your, Michael Chandler's versus
Will
Brooks and
Pitbull out there.
Exactly. King Mo and Emmanuel Newman actually fought in this card, and not that many people know.
Yeah, former champion.
So as long as you keep a good mix going back and forth, I think you're fine. I don't think they should cross over. I mean, even though Emmanuel Newman was on this card. I don't know if I would put Benson Henderson on this card. I would keep them separate on a different card.
So I got a feeling too that Bellator is going to keep. Don't be surprised to see Shamrock versus Gracie 4 or
5, 7,
whatever. I don't know. So that's it for round number 1. Stick around. We're talking about the allegations against BJ Penn and sexual assault, and what the UFC should do, if anything, to maybe stir away from the former champion. So stick around, guys. All right, time for round number 2. We're talking some pretty serious allegations here to former multi-time UFC champion BJ Penn. Albert, you're pretty good at this kind of uncovering this stuff here. So he was accused of sexual assault in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah, and he actually has a pretty bad track record in Hawaii with assault. Assault. Yeah, I'm saying assault. Because I think he's been running with the law twice already, but never really faced any big ordeal. But the thing is, how can I say? It's an allegation.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, I understand UFC wants to quickly respond to it, especially since they've had other problems, with Anthony Rumble Johnson, John Jones. But at the same time, it's an allegation, and I think UFC is willing to let it play out until all the facts are out there before they completely separate themselves from BJ Penn.
Yeah, and the good thing about UFC, he wasn't really in the fold of UFC. He's been retired or semi-retired, so there was reason of him coming back. And then when the whole talk came out, Dana White posted a video of him saying the project returns. Now they're kind of backing off on that because they're not married to BJ Penn necessarily as of right now. I think it's smart for them to back up and wait for everything to play out. But I mean, in recent news, we have Peyton Manning, facing or this an old case of sexual assault.
Yep.
And now this one of BJ Penn, probably one of the most decorated fighters in history, one of the most known fighters in history. Casual fans kind of think know who BJ Penn is. This is serious stuff here. And, but it kind of makes you say, okay, well, the UFC, these guys are athletes too now. These are great fighters. They're going to be in the limelight. You can't think they get away with anything type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hopefully we get to the end of this, but I mean, as of right now, BJ Penn shouldn't even think about fighting right now.
No.
He released a statement saying it's all extortion.
Yeah. That's what he's claiming, that it's extortion, that it's just people trying to get money from ex-employees.
Yeah.
That they ended in a bad relationship.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it's all about the fact that the key thing, I still think it's the allegation.
Yeah.
And until the facts come out. But it is best for BJ Penn to just stay out of the limelight right now.
Yeah.
And as soon as this passes over, then I guess it'll be better to, posting up his training at Winklejohn's and whatnot.
And these allegations came from a former writer from his website, bjpenn.com, right?
Yes. And
he said, was it his sister who he assaulted or somebody, a friend of his? Accusing BJ Penn that BJ Penn assaulted like a friend of his, right? And so that's what's coming from. He's just a disgruntled employee who doesn't work for my website anymore. And if y'all know BJPenn.com, it evolved from a website about BJ Penn to a news source, right?
To like a type of news source.
Yeah, so it is kind of strange now, but I mean,
well,
I think that here it's just when MMA is growing as a sport, right? So that means it's the limelight. So you see, I mean, NFL fans are probably numb to this type of thing now. Where another football player is involved in an assault charge.
Well, MMA,
this is big news to MMA fans.
MMA is kind of getting in that route too.
Yeah.
Where we're hearing cases left and right every year now. I think.
I mean, you hate to say it because maybe it's a violent sport. Maybe that's where because football is a violent sport. Obviously, MMA is a violent sport.
And this is a unique thing too because it's been played out on Twitter too. The former employee. has he has sent lots of tweets. I mean, there's one that in quote, needless to say, I'm no longer with BJ Penn. I know all his dirty secrets. The blank blank doesn't deserve to fight again. So it's even played out on social media. So,
but that also doesn't help his cause of trying to bring down BJ Penn when he's on social media.
Yeah, it almost feels more like if you were really
like a vendetta, right?
Yeah, if you were really part of a crime thing, you keep your mouth shut and talk to your lawyer.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you're blasting on Twitter left and right, I mean, it makes you kind of seem kind of fishy. But I know that obviously this guy's so beloved, BJ Penn, that MMA fans want the truth. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna have supporters of people who are going to doubt him. But I mean, hopefully this isn't as serious as.
Yeah, because he's even saying that BJ Penn had drug problems, that he did coke.
Yeah.
So it's more than just the sexual. So I mean, the guy's saying that he's gonna say a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that BJ Penn, I guess, supposedly has hidden in his closet.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I wish we had more time to talk about this. Or maybe get someone on the phone next week to talk about this. Who knows more about these allegations?
It was the guy's girlfriend
that he assaulted.
Yeah,
allegedly. Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but somebody had to talk about.
And just to let you know, the way he talks about his girlfriend, he says, "My Playboy model girlfriend." So
yeah. So again,
it's just a
lot of stuff going around. So that's it for round number 2. Stick around. We're going to talk about Ronda Rousey's appearance on the Ellen Show and what we learned from it. So stick around. All right, time for round number 3. We're going to stick outside to the realm outside of fighting. Ronda Rousey, former UFC bantamweight champion, biggest MMA star on the planet, was on the Ellen Show. I think, what was she promoting?
She was promoting herself.
And of course, Ellen, being the investigative reporter that she is, got down and dirty and asked her questions about how she felt after her loss to Holly Holm. To which Rousey kind of broke down and said that she felt like killing herself.
Yeah, and it was funny because she's done other interviews already.
Yeah.
After the Holly Holmes fight, and she's been more open about it. And then I guess this was her Oprah moment on Ellen. Yeah. Where she, I guess, opened up fully, and you got the tears flowing.
Yeah, I mean, people say that I don't think it was literal. It's just that's how bad she felt after the fight. Because
I think a lot of MMA fighters came to her defense, and in that regards, even Mike Tyson said, "Well, yeah, I mean, you're the champion, you're undefeated, you're in a high. Yeah. You lose, obviously, the first thing you think is like, it's over. What am I gonna do with my life? But obviously, fighting's an emotional sport." And when someone loses the way she lost, I mean, it's super emotional. So it's understandable. I mean, like I said, Mike Tyson said he even had some of those thoughts when he was winning. So.
Yeah. So, obviously she's a champion. Yeah. She's a tough fighter. I mean, that's how she felt afterwards. She's not obviously going to kill herself. But I actually was kind of happy when I heard this because I was on the side that she doesn't want to fight again. She's done fighting. She wants to, she's obviously has a super great career, modeling, doing movies, hosting SNL. I thought maybe she's done, but after I heard on the Ellen Show, okay, maybe she does want to fight again, and I actually got excited because I want to see her back in the octagon, even get that rematch with Holly Holm. So that's what I took from it. Like, okay, yeah, I'm sad that she felt that way, but I'm excited because she might come back.
I did get the sense that she still wants to fight, but. To me, it felt more like a tour to keep her relevant, and I don't want to sound like I'm like hating on her, or like, but it really feels that way. That it's almost like Dana White and UFC says, "Look, we are not giving up on Ronda Rousey. We still think she's going to be one of our bread and butter here in the company. So let's keep her active as far as in the media. Let's make her relatable if she cries. I'm not saying that she faked her cries, but it helps out to relate to the people and also to stay with her.
I make sure how well coached she is, type of thing, right?
Yeah. So,
I mean, when's the last time you saw a fighter get knocked out in a championship bout
and then still do a media tour? Yeah.
So I mean, like I'm sure Chad Mendes will love this treatment she's getting. So.
Even the SI cover shoe. I mean, not that she doesn't deserve to be on the cover or even SI. It just. The timing seems kind of weird to me because, it's almost like, okay, Holly Holmes' fight's coming up, but we don't want you to forget about Ronda Rousey. She's still relevant. Yeah. She's still around. And that's what it feels like more to me. That's more like a tour to show the people that, you know what, we're not quitting on Ronda Rousey, and we're still hoping that she's the bread and butter of UFC.
Do you think it's all the UFC getting behind her, the publicity, in hopes of her coming back to fight, or they're just because when you associate Ronda Rousey, you think of UFC, right? The association you make, or is it will it benefit Ronda Rousey to, you know what? I'm Ronda Rousey.
I think this is Dana White putting
athlete, not Ronda Rousey, UFC fighter.
I think this is Dana White putting his promoter hat on, knowing that there's still one more big fight for Ronda Rousey. Even if she were to walk away the sport after this next fight, that's not here or there. There's still a big fight to be made, and there's still a big fight to be hyped around. There's still a big fight to sell out. Yeah. There's still a big fight to make record numbers, which I think will happen if she comes back. Even though I think a lot of people won't have that much faith in Ronda Rousey winning the fight. Still, there's going to be a lot of people interested in the fight.
Faith and pay-per-view buys don't necessarily go together, right? I mean, you don't need to have faith to click buy. That's all they need. Just people click order, and get in the tickets. So,
and the other difficult thing too is it sucks too because this has always been like a double-edged sword when it comes to Ronda. Yeah, she makes the women's MMA division go up because people know profile, but at the same time, she overshadows all the other stars, and it sucks kind of because we know Holly Holm now, but what about all the other fighters? Yeah. We still don't have no highlights of the other women in this sport. Matter of fact, if you look at the last couple of cards, it's been lacking in the women's division.
It has, especially the bantamweight division.
As far as the caliber of fights too. So
and then Holly Holm, she's not the main event, right? She's a co-main event for her bout.
Yeah. So that's double-edged sword. Yeah, she's still bringing in views to the women's sport, but what about the other girls? Yeah. There are other stars in this division. They just can't get highlighted.
Well, obviously there's going to be life after Ronda Rousey. Yeah. But what it's kind of annoying, I find, from what.
But you got to do the setup, man.
But what was kind of, you could just see like this metaphor of Dana White and the UFC just squeezing every last drop out of her. So, but I mean, whatever. That's not what it is. But again, they're in charge of $1 billion company, and we're not, so they know what they're doing.
Supposedly.
So that's it for round number 3. We'll take a quick little break. Coming up, we're going to return to action back inside the octagon. Let's talk about some heavyweight matchup that was announced this week, and we'll look forward to the return of Anderson Silva. So stick around, guys. Everyone, keep up to date with us on social media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. Like us on Facebook. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Podomatic, and iTunes pages. Thanks for sticking around that short little break. We're back now with round number 4. Let's talk about some heavyweight action now. So, Alistair Overeem, who's 2-fight win streak, 3-fight win streak? What's his win streak? Do you know? Off the top of your head?
I think it's 2, but the fact that he's coming off of one of JDS is all he needs. Yeah. Screw it. Even if he had a 10-winning streak, the fact that he has JDS on the card, I think means everything.
So it was announced last week that he's going to face Andre Arlovski, his Jackson Winklejohn teammate in May in the Netherlands. So when I saw this match, I was like,
3-fight win streak.
I was like, Overeem versus Arlovski doesn't really make much sense for Overeem, right?
Yeah, just because Arlovski was riding that hype train, and then he was derailed by Stipe, and Overeem is supposedly
behind Stipe.
Yeah,
so he's a number 2 contender, right?
So what made sense to me was to have Stipe and Overeem go at it, especially since they're both from different camps.
Yep.
Rather than this Arlovski one. I think there's other fights for Arlovski. There's the Ben Rothwell fight that I thought would have matched up better.
Yeah, but then also, it should know that this bout on May 8th, for UFC Fight Night, is going to take place in the Netherlands. So maybe they're throwing Overeem a bone here because we need somebody from the native Netherlands to headline, and Martin Kampmann just retired. So you think that's what it is, maybe?
No, well, that's for sure the reason why he's the main event. I'm just not for sure on why they chose Arlovski out of the heavyweights that they have. Yeah, it is a tough situation regardless of how you see it, because who could Overeem actually fight? I mean, he already fought the top contenders, so he already fought Travis Browning, which he lost. Which maybe it would have made sense to do the rematch. That probably would have made sense. Lost, right? He lost against Bigfoot. Ben Rothwell beat him, but Ben Rothwell is coming off of a huge win as well. So maybe it would have been better to avenge some of those losses than to look forward for a new opponent.
So it's basically, we need the Netherlands, we need a main event, and there's nobody else who Arlovski can fight because he's either lost or beaten everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm whatever. I mean, I'm not excited about this matchup. I think it doesn't make sense for Arlovski, but then again, if it's a payday, it's a payday. I mean, if it's his hometown, it's his home country. I think
maybe that's probably why they did the matchup too, because you know how he does have a camp in Netherlands. He does do some of his camping, then he finishes usually at the Johnson's Winklejohn, whatever.
Jackson Winklejohn.
So it may make sense because now he stays in this camp full time.
I think this is a big opportunity for Arlovski because if he defeats Overeem, he's right back up.
Oh yeah, he's back where he originally was.
He's almost like Arlovski's almost taking the Frank Mir position, right? Remember when you think Frank Mir's done it now?
He's one fight away from still staying number one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, I think no other cards have been announced. No other fights for this card has been announced. But I mean, I just kind of shaking my head like, I mean. It's not really. It's kind of this heavyweight division is so depleted that honestly, there's really no matchups that get me excited.
It's a weird situation to be in the heavyweight division.
I mean, are you excited for like maybe just? Okay,
no, even if they would have done like the two hottest guys, which I think now is like Ben Rothwell and Overeem against each other, I wouldn't be that hyped. Even if, the only one I think I probably would have get behind him, and it's the one I told you is Overeem versus Steifen.
Yeah,
I think I would have been pumped over that, even though I think that wouldn't even be necessarily a huge matchup in history of heavyweight division.
But that's just I'm not like even when they announced Verdum versus Velasquez again, I wasn't excited about that. I was really excited for the first time they fought because the division is so kind of depleted and so like razor thin that
it's weird too because as soon as Brock Lesnar left, that's when I feel like it got depleted and we lost our heavyweights.
Yeah, because we lost like at least the sexiness of the division.
Yeah. Because
Cain Velasquez, an awesome athlete, but like, is he sexy? Can he really sell a fight? Can he even get to a fight? Is a bigger question.
It's big,
and we got the Overeem was supposed to be the guy they signed, from Strikeforce. This guy, kicking everybody's butt over Japan and Europe. But I'm thinking now, we saw his true colors. He's getting a glass chin and not really,
Even I mean, if you look at all the top 10, just look at the top 10.
Yeah, it's
people that's been around for around at least 10 years.
Yeah,
except with the exception of Steifen, is you got Frank Mir, of course, guarding that gate, and then you got Mark Hunt, Josh Barnett, Travis Browning, JDS. Andre, Ben Rothwell, Overeem, and of course Steifen and Cain Velasquez. See, it's
so what we're really just waiting for, honestly, is John Jones to just make the jump up from
it would make
lightweight to heavyweight.
It would mix
some
things
new blood
up,
into it because there's like 8 potential matchups there, all to see what John Jones
there's
can
10 potential matchups up there.
It's all to see what John Jones could do into the heavyweight division.
The fact that Matt Mitrione can stay is still in the top 15 after some of the losses he took, even though the last one was controversial. It shows you where the heavyweight division is at right now.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you can make that 265 weight limit, you should really make it.
Maybe I should look into it. Maybe. So that's it for round number 4. We're gonna talk about the fifth and final round is gonna come up. Talk about the return of Anderson Silva. Just stick around, guys. Time for the 5th and final round. The return of the Spider Anderson Silva after being suspended, right?
For testing positive for
multiple
banned
things.
Substance.
He said it was erectile dysfunction, something like that, right?
I don't know.
He returns against everyone's favorite villain, Michael Bisping, February 27th, the O2 Arena, London.
I'll give this to Michael Bisping. The guy never breaks character. He's heel all the way through, no matter what. Yep. You know what? I appreciate that, Michael Bisping. I don't like you, but I appreciate you.
It makes you appreciate, almost like Ric Flair back in the 80s, right?
But see, this is why I respect Michael Bisping more than I respect John Bone Jones. John Bone Jones tries to play the fence. Yeah. He needs to turn heel or go fully face.
You're either with me or against me.
And I like Michael Bisping. He accepted his heel role, and he'll take it until his last match.
Hey, because it's cashing paychecks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they're going to main event UFC Fight Night 84 in London. The card, other than Mousasi versus Talis Light, other than, honestly, Mousasi on it, it's kind of a... Yeah. I don't know, whatever card, I guess. It's on exclusively on the Fight Pass as well.
Fight Pass, so that's the key thing right there.
It's a Fight Pass main event. So, what do you expect to see from Anderson Silva after 18 month suspension?
It's tough because the only thing I can go off is that Diaz fight.
Have you been seeing no training videos of Anderson Silva?
I've seen a few, but like it's funny. Anderson Silva's always been the same way. When he does show himself training or training videos, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's pretty much the basics.
Yep.
Him doing the basics, and he doesn't even do it to a point where you're
like
in
full
awe.
Speed. It's like
yeah. So but I think it's obviously I think he does it intentionally. That's just the way he does it. So in that Diaz fight, the old Anderson wasn't really there. He seemed a little bit rusty. He didn't seem to fully want to commit to a lot of things. But with that said, I mean, Anderson's like this enigma of which one's gonna,
Yeah.
So but I do expect is the old Anderson Silva, to tell the truth. I think from his gruesome injury till now, he had a lot of time off. He had a lot of time to recover. He had a lot of time to prepare himself, and I feel like this is a good opponent because Michael Bisping, even though he's known for his stand-up, he's not known for his physical power, which I think Anderson Silva couldn't get over with Chris Weidman when it came to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, with Bisping, obviously, this is probably the biggest fight of his career.
For Michael Bisping, yes.
He's made a career of beating the bottom end of whatever division he's in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at his last beat, Talis Leites and CB Dalloway.
And that was a split decision against Talis Leites.
And he lost to Luke Rockhold, and before that, he lost to Tim Kenny. Before that was a loss to Vitor Belfort, but he's beaten Alan Belcher and Kung Lee. So, this is a guy who's made a career of beating the bottom half of the division.
Yeah. It's funny because I can't even call him the Frank Mir of the division because Frank Mir has beat some very high caliber guys.
Former champion as well.
Yeah.
So,
and he's a former champion.
Michael Bisping, as we see him now, versus a 40-plus Anderson Silva who hasn't fought consistently.
I think it's a fair fight now.
Who hasn't fought consistently in 2 years. Yeah. I could almost like to see Michael Bisping come on top of this. Don't you think?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That's why I said I do think it's going to be a fair fight. For some reason, I still think that old Anderson Silva is going to show up. Maybe it's just me wanting it. But I do think it's a fair fight now because you have an aged Anderson Silva and you have Michael Bisping somewhat still in his prime.
Yeah. So let's get a win for Michael Bisping. He's probably obviously going to call for a title shot.
He still has a lot.
But he's going to call for it.
Go through. I know he's going to call for it.
Will he get it? If you defeat Anderson Silva.
It's tough. I mean, he still has to face Tim Kennedy again, I think, to really get a title shot. I think Tim Kennedy deserves a title shot over him, or Tim Kennedy's more in the conversation than Michael Bisping. I think
the UFC has no idea what to do with the division because they're just, you know what, Luke Rockhold, let's just put you against Chris Weidman again because that fight was fair.
Yeah,
that fight was super close.
I mean,
so even their loss, they don't have a number one contender.
Technically, he has to get through Machida.
Who?
If you ask me, Michael Bisping.
True, and who's going to fight Dan Henderson again for some reason?
Yeah, which makes sense. Technically, Michael Bisping still has to get through Dan Henderson. So there you go. There you go. Well, win over Anderson Silva just puts you against one of these matchups. A rematch matchup against Tim Kennedy, Dan Henderson, Machida. You got to face these guys before you can consider to be a contender.
Anderson Silva wins. Title shot?
Oh, automatically.
Okay, yeah. I know where you're coming from. Yeah, okay.
Well, a couple things. One, if Anderson Silva finishes Michael Bisping, obviously he's going to get a title shot. But the main reason what everyone's forgetting is Luke Rockhold wants to fight.
Yeah.
It's not like Luke Rockhold's saying like, it's just Anderson Silva. He's not. No, Luke Rockhold wants that in his resume.
Yeah.
I also defeated not only Chris Weidman, but Anderson Silva.
To Rockhold's credit, he's still calling for Vitor Belfort too.
Yeah, see? So Luke Rockhold's just that type of guy. He wants the Anderson Silva fight, so there's no reason why he shouldn't get it.
Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out. Again, that UFC's a Fight Pass exclusive. So
exclusive. So if you still got that free trial that you haven't used, it's a good time to use it.
Yeah, might as well. So that's it for today's show.
Or pay $9, which is cheaper than pay-per-view.
No,
pay-per-view. That's what I was saying. Nothing's cheaper than WWE.
$9.99. So that's it for today's show. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. I also thank our fine line of sponsors. First with Rocking Green eco-friendly cleaning products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation Rise Up Against Bullying. So make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. You can also check out our podcast at FightBookMMA.com. That's FightBookMMA.com under the podcast page. Albert, what do you got?
I just hope that we see a 5-round fight this weekend since we didn't see it in Bellator. So,
I guess we're asking, hey, Albert, Alex, what about the Cowboy versus Cowboy? We'll record this before it because we have stuff to do. So,
there you go about
Cowboy.
it.
We'll just see.
But I'm still hoping for at least a 5-rounder somewhere in here.
We'll talk about that next week.
You are now listening to FRMMA Radio.